Welcome to the Real Deep Movie Review Podcast, where we dig deep into movies and talk about our thoughts on where the film hit or missed in terms of plot lines, characters, and more. Today we're going to be talking about Jurassic World Rebirth. It's the 7th movie in the franchise. Fair warning here, there will be plenty of spoilers throughout our discussion. All right, so what was your initial take walking out of the theater?
Mostly, I was pretty disappointed. I really did not enjoy the movie, and I was honestly bored for a good chunk of it, and just more frustrated with plot decisions, character decisions, than found enjoyment in anything. You know,
Really?
like one of not like the biggest thing, but something that I noticed even early on in the movie. Actually, I didn't even notice it early on in the movie. I didn't notice it until a few days after I'd seen the movie, but I saw someone talking about it online, was the fact that in the introduction, it's, and spoiler warning here, it's that what sets off this like alarm system inside the facility, because they're always in like one of these facilities with dinosaurs and all that. What sets off the alarm system that causes all the chaos is one Snickers wrapper. It goes into like the door and it like messes with the door. And so the entire security system, the entire island just shuts off. It just resets.
Yeah.
Are we serious? Like that's what it was. Like, and what that honestly, it's like, it's his final destination. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like that's the kind of silly thing you might see there where it's like, it fits in with whatever, but in a Jurassic Park movie, it's like, come on,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I could understand if it was a movie about viruses and somehow that allowed a virus to escape or something like that. But for, to not have better security in place for these massive dinosaurs just seems a little bit unrealistic, right?
Yeah. And it's just like, it just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Because as soon as you think about that in any other situation, like if anything that might mess up the door's now broken. Why would one malfunction in a door derail everything, right? Like you were doomed. This was going to happen anyway. Like this was literally going to happen. Even if that wrapper didn't get sucked in that door, something was going to happen because it's like one flaw and the whole system shuts down.
Yeah. Well, they also had a 2-door system, right?
Yeah.
So how did one door malfunctioning, kind of blow up the whole system, right?
Yeah. It just, that was very poorly written. And I don't know. I also, and actually, what that kind of brings me into my next point, where I felt like the deaths in this movie were very weak. And I get that it's a PG-13 movie, but there have been a lot of iconic deaths throughout the Jurassic Park movie. Like I feel like one that comes to mind is the Samuel L. Jackson death, where even though it's off screen, it's like when she feels his arm on her shoulder. She reaches for it. Oh my God! Oh, it's just his arm, like that, or like even in the first movie as well. Like the I don't remember what his name was, but the guy that had the whipped cream, that he was the one that caused all the problems.
Right.
He was collecting the data and stuff. His car wrecks. He's stuck in the mud, and then that one dinosaur kind of comes over to him, and then it's like flashes its things and it sprays the ink on him and all that. Like it's like That's so iconic. Even though those deaths are both off screen, they're so iconic and enjoyable, and it feels so violent and raw, even though it's not, even though it's still keeping that PG-13 rating. And you see that throughout a lot of the movies in the series, honestly. Just this one, you didn't see it. Everything felt so like safe and like they didn't want to take any risks. Oh, what if somebody gets scared? And I don't like that.
Yeah, you see, one thing they do a lot throughout the series is you see there's a lot of off-screen deaths, right, which keeps it PG-13, like you said. But then you see the after effects, right? So like the guy that dies from the guy with the whipped cream, right? The big guy you're talking about. He dies, and then you see the blood come down this little like mini waterfall, right? And then in the second one, you have a similar death where T-Rex grabs somebody out of that cave they're hiding in, right? Pulls him up, presumably crunches him in half or whatever, right? And then you see all this blood draining down the waterfall in front of the cave.
Yeah.
So you know what happened. It's clear. It's still PG-13, but it's a little more obvious than just taking them off screen and then you just kind of wonder, right?
Yeah. And that's actually like a cool creative way to keep it like, so people like me who it's like, I love horror movies and stuff, I'm still finding a little bit of enjoyment out of this. But another complaint along with the death scenes being weak is how few death scenes there were. I tried to count it up, and I'm pretty sure there were only 5 character deaths throughout the movie. So more people survived the island of dinosaurs than died on the island of dinosaurs. And keep in mind, one of those deaths was in the very beginning of the movie. So that was before even anything even happened. So like,
so you're kind of like the scientist that dies in the intro, right?
So like, that is so weak. Like that's so lame to me. And it just, again, that completely takes me out of the movie, because it's like, realistically, these people are getting picked off one by one, like throughout the day, not like one person dies a day. Like that's like, no way you're staying hidden on this island of all these dinosaurs. It just doesn't make any sense. Like there should have been more deaths. And honestly, it just, again, it feels like, yeah, actually, you know what, that leads me into another point. A lot of the characters, it felt so safe. It was like, as soon as they hit that island, it was like, well, I already know they're not going to kill this person. They're not going to kill this person, because keep in mind, Scarlett Johansson's her character, main character of the movie. They're not going to kill the main character. Jurassic Park has never taken that kind of risk. They don't kill the main character. Her best friend, Mahershala Ali plays, I thought they might kill this guy. I'm really glad that, you know, they didn't, because he was probably my favorite character. He was the only character, honestly, he was the only character that felt like I really enjoyed watching his performance. Everyone else just felt like, like I really cared about him and what he had to say throughout the movie.
Yeah, I think there were other good performances by the actors for sure, but I do think he was the best character.
Yeah, and it might not be the actor's fault. It could be just a poor script, you know. But like, one thing that comes to mind there is like, and I mentioned this to you right after the movie as well, with a lot of the death scenes, they kind of set up like the mercenary group, which is the group that Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, like they're a part of. It's them, and then there's also a family. But they set up that mercenary group as in like, hey, these are a bunch of friends. They're a bunch of buddies. Like they all know each other. They've all worked together a lot. Like, in Mahershala Ali, his character does have a couple scenes where you kind of see him like his eyes closed, is kind of like his head down, like he's grieving. You know,
yeah,
like
he's affected by the death.
He's affected. Scarlett Johansson is she is one like, no, and then it's like she just moves on. Like it's like you never, and I don't blame her for that as much as it's just like the script. I feel like it was poorly done. It's like she doesn't show any like sadness for what's going on. You know, I see that. I just think it was really weird. It was really weird how like, it's like their close friends and family members here are basically getting picked off and they don't even care. You know, it's like they're not doing anything about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, right? Because you don't want that to become the focus of the movie. That's not what the movie is, right?
Yeah.
It's not a dramatic movie. So you want it to be focused on the action, the violence, the terror, right? But yeah, I agree. They probably could have done more with her to show some more of that emotion.
Yeah. And then what we were talking about with the deaths being weak and the deaths, there weren't a lot. And then, the characters just feeling, the characters also just felt very generic. Like the family, it was literally just that generic movie family. And that was another issue I had, is the fact that there's a family here. Because it was a father, older daughter, her boyfriend, and then a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you know what I realized? Again, as soon as they hit that island, none of these characters are going to die. Like they're going to live through the whole movie. So you have to spend at least like a good, I'd say probably about half the rest of the movie with these characters. And you know they're not going to die. And you know they're not going to get hurt. Like there's this big scene. I think the only scene in the movie with the T-Rex was wasted on this family. It was a scene where
it was a good scene, though. I actually really enjoyed that scene.
It was a good scene. I thought it was really creative. But again, it took, like, if it would have been a different group of people, there would have been so much tension in that scene. Like, oh my God, the T-Rex, because you went under the water. It was like, whoa, like that's crazy. He's never done that before. You know, like, that's cool. But for me, there's not a lot of tension there because I know the family's going to be okay. There's no danger. Like,
yeah, because the two daughters were the ones that were in the most danger, right? Yeah. So the oldest daughter goes to get, the raft or whatever right out of that shed. Then that's when she wakes up the T-Rex, right?
Yeah.
I liked how they did that. I thought it kind of harkened back a little bit to some of the older movies where, you know, it was a good T-Rex scene. And
yes,
if I go see a Jurassic Park movie, I want to see a good T-Rex scene
for sure.
Right? When he went under the water, that was cool.
Yes.
But yes, the most sort of tense moment was with the youngest daughter. She's a little girl. Like, they're not going to your point, like, they're not going to kill her off. Now,
exactly.
You know, I think a lot of people watching that movie are still going to have some of that tension, right? They're still going to feel that a little bit. But if you're somebody that watches a lot of movies, you know they're not going to kill this little girl off, right?
Yeah.
The fans don't want to see that. You know, a lot of people, it's PG-13.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are going there with their kids, and they don't want to take their kids to a movie where a bunch of little girls are getting picked off by dinosaurs.
Jurassic Park is not a franchise that is willing to take that kind of like risk. Like, now I feel like honestly, when movies do, I think it's actually like, I'm not going to say enjoyable, but like, you know, it's usually better. Like, because it's like, wow, oh my God, they killed a little kid. Like, that means anybody can die. Like, now I'm actually kind of like, now there is tension, because now it's like, wait, they might actually kill these people. Like, there might not be somebody who's safe, you know, or like, especially like another example, like when they kill a main character in a movie, it's like, whoa. So you're telling me that anybody can die now, right? Like, there's not a set character that's going to survive. Mm-hmm. But in this, it was very much like, oh, let's kill off a random scientist. Then we'll kind of kill off this douchey mercenary. Then we'll kill off this mercenary that you never even talked to one time. It's like, oh man, oh wow, I'm so sad. Like, I don't even know who that is. I can't tell you the name of any of the characters who died. The only character who died that had any like relevance and importance was like the evil businessman of the pharmaceutical company. Like that's the only one that like had any importance that died. Everybody else was just like a one note character that had like a few lines and then
I agree.
Off.
That's something that's always frustrated me when I see movies and I can figure out what's going to happen or what's not going to happen early on, right? Mm-hmm. I'd rather be sort of kept on my toes, especially in a movie like this, right? Yeah. Where, I don't think this movie was meant to be a horror movie by any stretch, but it is an action movie, and while action movies tend to be more predictable in terms of, you know, you're not going to kill off the hero, you're not going to kill off, you know, a bunch of the main characters. I feel like in this movie, you got to keep people guessing, right? That's the only way any of these scenes become scary to people, right? Now, I did think they were going to kill off the boyfriend a couple of times.
Yeah, I thought that they were when they first introduced him, because they introduced him as like, oh, he's the douchey boyfriend that's so, this and that, you know? So I thought that they were going to kill him off at first, but then once they had him save the girlfriend, I was like, nah, they're not going to do it now, because now they've given him a little bit of an arc. And honestly, if they did it after that, I would be kind of annoyed, because it's like, well, then why did you even like create the moment for him to have that heroic moment? You know, it's just,
I mean, he's a character that actually had some character development in a movie that I think lacked a ton of character development. Yeah,
for sure.
So I agree. It would have been weird to spend any time developing this guy just to kill him off. I thought he might die in that first scene. So I liked the sailing scene, right? So the family's on the sailboat going on their little trip or whatever. Mm-hmm. The boyfriend, for some reason, is there with them, and he's, you know, just this super lame pothead who, you know, doesn't contribute anything, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got the Mosasaurus, right? The Mosasaurus comes and attacks the ship, and that's the big giant dinosaur that was introduced in Jurassic World, right? The one that was the sea creature.
Oh, it is the same one?
Yeah.
That should have been able to just like, well, then that actually makes me think that a lot of those scenes were pretty silly on like the boat, because I mean, we saw that dinosaur. I mean, that ate the Indominus Rex in Jurassic World.
Exactly.
Like, that is a massive dinosaur that was just eating people up. There's no reason it couldn't handle that small boat that even the mercenaries were on. Like, they should have been able to get like a good chunk of them, you know?
Yeah, it's weird because in some of the older movies, you see T-Rex just taking bites out of vehicles, right? Mm-hmm. Like they'll willingly bite into metal structures, right?
They don't know that it's metal. Like, to them, it's just, this is something that's in my way. Let me bite into it.
Yeah, and you find out after you bite it. Yeah, I agree. But I always liked that dinosaur. I just thought it was something cool and different. You know, after the first 3 Jurassic Park movies, there were no, kind of sea-based animals like that, right?
Yeah.
So it was cool to see. It was a cool scene, and it was a little bit like you were a little on edge, right? You didn't know what was going to happen. It's kind of the early point in the movie. You don't really know how far these family members are going to make it. You did suspect they're not going to kill off the girls. They're probably not going to kill off the dad, right? But I did think they were going to kill off the boyfriend. But yeah, I agree. Kind of as he starts to develop a little bit as a character, it kind of became clear they weren't going to get rid of this guy.
But it is funny too, even with his development, he only really had that one scene of development. And then after that, he kind of went back to just being like, just that, like the dad comes over to tell him like, oh, I respect you. I respect what you did. Like that was very honorable. Like my daughter wouldn't be alive without you. Right. And then he's like, oh yeah, man, that's cool. All right. I'm going to go take a piss. Okay. It's like, it's just like it's like he didn't even like have that development. And then honestly, I feel like after that, it wasn't even that, oh my God, he's so much better of a person now. They just didn't give him any lines. Like, it's like he just learned how to shut up. Like that was really what it was. Like he didn't really change other than just like, he wasn't talking now. And so that was like our development, was that now he isn't like constantly talking and annoying everybody.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of me, though, that feels like it's almost a little more realistic, right? Like,
yeah.
So here's this guy. He's kind of a loser, right? But given some huge tragic scenario, he shows up when you need him.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't completely change who he is as an individual. Like, that's almost a little bit more believable than, like, suddenly he's this massive hero in the movie.
No, yeah,
that would not be believable at all.
For sure.
So part of me doesn't hate that, but yeah, I agree. They kind of gave him that slight arc, and then he didn't really do much after that.
I just think that the writing in general for a lot of the characters in the movie was poorly done. Like, I don't think there's a lot of great lines. I think that, honestly, something else, there's a lot of exposition. Like, there's a lot of just like yapping, like just talking. And I think there's an issue because this isn't a horror movie. This is a action movie. Yet it feels like there's a lot of times we went like a good 10 minutes without any action. And it was like, we just are doing anything but showing action. And it's like, well, dude, if you want to make this an action movie, there better be action. Like there better be things going on at a lot of times. Because otherwise, you should just make this a horror movie. You should make it like a horror movie where then you can have more tense scenes and more like characters aren't as safe. Like if you want to just like talk, but even then, honestly, I just think exposition in general, like you don't want to just have like scenes of just talking because the audience isn't here for that. Like that's not what this movie is. And I would much rather you show instead of tell, like, I don't know. That was just something else that kind of annoyed me was like, there were scenes where it's like honestly, like it was getting to a point where I was trying to like get comfortable so I could maybe fall asleep because I was just bored. Like I was just so out of interest in the movie at that point. You know, like the only positive thing I have to say is I did think that the design for like the mutated dinosaur monster guy, I thought that design was really cool. And the most simple way I can say it is like, imagine a T-Rex mixed with a xenomorph, the alien from the movie Aliens. Like that's what it looked like. It was that. And it was really cool design, like super cool. However, the dinosaur didn't really do anything cool. It did like one cool thing, which was like, it like caught a helicopter in the sky and it was like chewing on it. And then it came into like the frame. That was pretty cool. I thought that was really cool. Other than that, it was actually pretty lame. It just walked around and stomped around real slow. It couldn't hunt at all. Like it only followed like the light, the flare light. And then you put out the flare light and it's, oh, well, where'd everybody go? It's like, it was a terrible dinosaur. Like it was not good at just doing the base necessities. I don't know how it survived on this island. Like, I don't know how it didn't die because it can't hunt. Like it has no sense other than sight. And even its sight isn't that great because it just follows bright lights.
Right.
So I don't know how it was hunting at all.
Yeah. I honestly, I agree with you that it looked cool, but I didn't like it being in the Jurassic Park franchise. Mm-hmm. I didn't like it at all. I think you've got that original, the introduction scene you were talking about, right? Where the candy bar wrapper goes in there and, there's a guy in there with this xenomorph. It's Distortus Rex is what they called it.
Yeah.
And he gets picked up by this thing, right? So it like has this arm that it can kind of, it has 2 arms. It has like 4 arms, right? And
something like that.
So it's like, so it's got 6 appendages and it reaches out and grabs this guy. And it's kind of cool. You were talking about it in the sense that like, you didn't see it, like you didn't see any finality to that kill, right? Like it picks him up, that he dies, but there's not really anything else.
It just carries him off into the smoke and it's like, okay.
Now, I will say it was cool when he came, the helicopter scene toward the end. So it was pretty cool. So it's all dark, right? It's nighttime. And then there's like all this smoke and fog or whatever it is. And the way it comes out of that with the helicopter, I agree. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I just didn't like it didn't look like a dinosaur. It looked like a combination of, King Kong and Godzilla and a xenomorph. And it was just, it seemed too big for a dinosaur. Like it was way really bigger than T-Rex, like twice the size of T-Rex almost. Just
it would have fit much better in like, again, like a horror movie. Like it would have fit much better in like a movie about like mutated like monsters or something like that. Like that would look well. But actually something I just thought about this on the spot, but the whole reason that they were mutating and like trying to create new dinosaurs was because they were worried that people would get bored of like the old dinosaurs. They wouldn't think it's cool anymore. But honestly, if I was a kid and you showed me this dinosaur, I would just be super scared. Like it looks like a xenomorph. It looks like an alien monster, has all these different arms that are like different sizes. It looks mutated. Why were they even keeping this thing alive? Like, were you going to put this in a park? Probably not, because I don't think people would want to go see it. They'd be like, what is that? Like, that looks scary. Like, I don't think they'd want to go see that. It wouldn't be like, oh, that's the cool T-Rex. Like, I don't know what even the purpose was of having that dinosaur. Like, with the Indominus Rex in Jurassic World, there's a little bit of like, all right, I can see how, this looks like a T-Rex, but it's just like a scaly white and has red eyes and it's like a little scarier looking, but like it still looks like a dinosaur. It still looks like something that you would see as a kid and be like, oh, that's so cool. This is not that. Now, actually, all right, I guess you could say maybe this is like an early product. Like this is early on. They're trying to like mutate, experiment, figure something out. And this is like a flawed, failed project. But then again, why are we keeping it alive? Why are we going in there and feeding
just kill this thing, create a different.
Yeah. Why would you? Again, it's just like, are you all like stupid? Like, why would you keep this? It's just a complete safety risk, like a safety hazard. And clearly your system of safety is not good already if it's shut down by one door. So why would you keep something like this that can it can catch a helicopter out of the air? Like, why would you keep that? It just doesn't make any sense. Nothing about that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I bought it with Jurassic World, right? The first one. I think it made sense, right? You've got this, you've got this theme park up and running. Seems like it's been up and running for some number of years. I can understand the idea that, people are, it's not new to them anymore, right? So now we got to create something new, something that makes them want to come. And so that was more believable. And like you said, the way they did it, it still was a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Whereas this wasn't. So it just, it kind of lost me there. They also had those I think they called them mutodons, which were like the other, it was like a raptor mixed with something else.
Yeah.
And it almost looked like it had some kind of like wings on its back or something. And they were there a lot at the end, right? They were the ones chasing them through the tunnels and whatnot.
Yeah.
I wasn't super crazy about those either. Like, I guess I get the idea they were trying to go with, but this was the place they were doing the experiments. And but it still gets back to, but like, what was the purpose of keeping these things around, right? Especially like that many. There were like 4 or 5 of these things.
Yeah, and I know it's like, I feel like people will say, they're abandoning the island. That's why they didn't. But like again, before they even abandoned the island, like why would you leave these things like alive? As soon as you made it, you should have immediately been like, wow, I have no use of this. Like this is not useful to me. Like, And I don't think that the Jurassic World and Park scientists are these super, oh God, I'd feel terrible killing this dinosaur. I mean, they're experimenting and mutating dinosaurs. I don't think that they care about the safety and precious life so much of these dinosaurs. So I don't know. It just, it doesn't make any sense. And honestly, another complaint I have just about the franchise in general, why are there so many islands? Why are there like, because Jurassic Park, all right, Jurassic Park makes sense. There's one island, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Jurassic Park 2, we find out, oh, well, this is another island. They were breeding them on this island. Okay. Right. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense. Like, they have a separate island they're breeding them on. Okay. Jurassic Park 3, oh, now we're at a different island.
No, that was the second island.
It was the second island?
Jurassic Park 3, I believe, was the second. It was the same as the second island. Yeah, so that was Isla Nublar was the main island, right? That was the Jurassic Park 1 and Jurassic World and Jurassic World 2.
Yeah.
And then Isla started with an S. Can't remember the name, but that's where Jurassic Park 2 was. That's where they were breeding them. That's the same one Jurassic Park 3 takes place on.
Okay. Well, then that makes a little bit more sense because I thought there were like more islands ever, but that's still like, so then that works. Jurassic World, I think
but this
that
is
works.
Still a third island.
Yeah, but this is a third island. This is different than all those. And it's like, so now we have not only a breeding island, a park island, but now we're having the mutating island. And it's like, also in Jurassic World, they've clearly opened up the park again. They're mutating things on that island. Like they're working, doing these things. Did everyone just forget that there was a whole other island that they were mutating animals on? Like, is that just not like they just forgot? Like, like that's just, that's super weird to me that like they just never decided to ever revisit it or like, I don't know, like send a team in to kill all the dinosaurs and reuse it. Like you were just wasting this entire island that you could use. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like, there shouldn't be any other islands, right? Like they should be done with any other islands. And I don't know. I think that Jurassic Park is a hard franchise in general to continue on doing because like, how many times can you have the characters go to an island and experience the same thing? Right. Like the first Jurassic Park's an amazing movie. Like it's an amazing movie. And what I think makes it so special is the fact that it has a lot of great horror elements and it really like played into them while still being PG-13. That's what makes it so special. Jurassic Park 2, I mean, it's a good movie. Definitely not anywhere near the level of that first one though. Jurassic Park 3. Also, I that used to be my favorite like when I was little. Like I love Jurassic Park 3. But it's like Jurassic Park 2. It's a good movie. But it's not like a special movie, Jurassic World, I thought was pretty good. Like it was a great like bringing back the like whole franchise while having a different twist on it. But then they immediately fumbled the bag right after with Jurassic World 2, and now even though I was just complaining that we're always on an island, well now we're in a house. That like so you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like that's the next step.
Almost not quite half, but about half of the movie, they're on the island, right? And they're trying to rescue them and get them off because the the volcano suddenly became active again, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. A lot of it then takes place in the house, and there's this huge break in scene between the dinosaur threat, right? Like as soon as they get off of the island, I feel like it's a while again before they're then threatened by dinosaurs again.
Yeah.
Right. It's more the people, right? The greedy people who are trying to sell the dinosaurs. They're the ones who are really the threat now.
Yeah. And I think I speak for everybody when I say I don't watch a Jurassic Park movie to hear about the greedy corporation. Like I don't care. Like I'd rather watch a different movie and hear about that. Like Jurassic Park, I want to see dinosaurs as a threat, not.
Well, that was one thing I really didn't like is, so there's this pharmaceutical guy who's with him on the island, right? And they're the pharmaceutical company is the one paying for this expedition so that they can gather DNA out of these 3 large dinosaurs and make this, this heart disease medication.
Yeah.
I think a couple things I don't like about that. One, I feel like it's a huge plot hole that they don't already have access to the DNA for every single dinosaur that was ever kind of brought back. That it just seems like a bit of a stretch to me that no one has gathered this DNA from any of these dinosaurs in the however many years it's been since they were created.
Yeah.
That seems like a bit of a stretch. And then I really didn't like that they've got this, again, like you were saying, this corporate bad guy. Like, I don't want to see that. I want the antagonist to be the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's a Jurassic Park movie. So the original one, you could argue, John Hammond was greedy. I think the way they portrayed him was good, where he was just super naive and he was trying to do something that had never been done, something that was cool.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, he regretted it. Right. And then the second movie, he wants the animals to be left alone.
Yeah.
Right. But then there's this guy who works for him who's, trying to, or I think it might be his son or his nephew or something, who's like trying to bring these dinosaurs back to a park in San Diego. Right. And it seems to be driven more by greed.
Yeah.
Right. The third one, then you get away from that. You don't have any antagonist people.
Yeah.
Right. So it's, there's a little boy who's like lost on the island, and the mom and dad trick Alan Grant and some other guys to come with them to go look for this boy. Right.
Yeah.
But no major person antagonist. And then Jurassic World, I would say it's kind of more like the first one, right? Like you've got this corporation who's running the Jurassic World theme park now, but it seems to be more that they're just naive. Even when they create this dinosaur, yes, they're trying to create something new for money and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the CEO seems more naive. He's not nefarious, right?
Yeah. He was not like a mean bad guy. Like he was like a good person. Like, he was as good of a person as you could be in that situation, so I did feel like Jurassic World did well with that. Like that's the compliment I'll definitely give the movie, is that it kind of brought it back to that whole dinosaurs are what we need to be like worried about. But it was really after that they got this whole thing like Jurassic World Dominion. That's like the main villain. The main thing I remember from that movie, like antagonist wise, is the guy that owned the house that was like cloning. Oh, and then he cloned the daughter or something like that. Just like a whole bunch of like, why are we doing this in a Jurassic Park movie? And then, there was like the hunter guy that was like this, like, he was just like a mean guy. He liked to be mean to the dinosaurs. It's just like, okay, like I don't care. Like I don't care about that. Jurassic World Dominion. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen that movie, but again, the things I remember from that movie were like the different like scientists and evil corporation people. I don't remember a single dinosaur scene from that movie. That's not good. I mean, I don't remember anything in that movie really in general, but it's not good.
Well, there's another one. Yeah, so that one, there was the CEO of this like huge biotech company, right? And he's creating these, locusts, and they're creating this seed, and they're just trying to basically just make a ton of money, right? And they're using the technology from, the dinosaurs and the Dr. Wu or whatever, the guy that brought these things back, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he was some greedy corporation again, right? And then the last one, they go back to it, and it's just like, yeah, that's not what I'm after, right? I think part of what made the first one so great, and then the third one good, and then the first Jurassic World, what made those good was that it was focused more on the dinosaurs and just the terrifying threat that they naturally present, rather than whatever, some greedy corporation.
Yeah. And to kind of bring it back to this most recent Jurassic World, I feel like, we went right back to it being, we're talking about a corporation guy again. We're talking about like this whole thing, and the dinosaurs don't really feel that threatening. Even the raptor mutated things, they were also just like, why not just put raptors in, right? Like, let's just have them be raptors. Like, why even do a different mutated dinosaur? It's just, they were just doing too much. And
Because they did have some dinosaurs that were not mutated, right?
Yeah,
like the ones they were trying to get the DNA from were not mutated.
Yeah, they had, which actually that's another thing that really doesn't make sense. If this entire island's purpose was to mutate dinosaurs, why would they just have a bunch of just dinosaurs just like out and about on the island? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they not only have mutated dinosaurs there with a bunch of DNA samples? Actually, that's something even too. They should have had a whole thing of DNA samples there. Like, they shouldn't have even had to go around and shoot the dinosaur with the needle and collect. They should be able to just go to like the facility directly,
right? The lab would have
DNA samples. Yeah, like the lab.
Although the lab was destroyed, right? When the one broke out, and so you know, maybe the DNA samples weren't kept,
preserved or something like that. Yeah.
So I could kind of get there.
Yeah. No, I feel like the greatest sin that this movie has, though, is just being boring. Just not being entertaining. Like, you can't get into any of the characters. The plot kind of sucks. The dialogue's not great. The dinosaurs are kind of all over the place. Just there isn't anything entertaining. It's just so painfully boring. And that's the worst thing a movie can do.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were going for an action movie. Right.
Yeah.
And so in an action movie, generally, like, the plot's not necessarily the strongest thing.
Yeah.
Right. There were action scenes, right? So like you could be entertained by it, but because it's part of the Jurassic Park franchise, you're inevitably like going to get compared against all these other movies. And I agree, it wasn't strong in a lot of areas. Now, there were some cool scenes, some good twists that happened, or good things. I think one thing in particular that they did was they had Scarlett Johansson's character toward the end. She shoots one of those mutadons, right? Kind of like unloads a pistol clip into this thing and kills it.
Yeah.
And I like that, because I feel like in a lot of the other movies, you had these guys with guns and they would shoot at the dinosaurs, and either they were, just had like the worst aim ever, or the bullets did nothing. I mean, think about how many shots were fired at the Indominus Rex in Jurassic World, right? Yeah. And they didn't touch this thing. It never looked like it got injured. Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well,
right?
Yeah, they had some kind of like his scales were too scaly. The bullets couldn't pierce it. Like, what?
Yeah, but they shot a rocket at this thing.
Yeah, it's like what animal has ever had like? There's no animal ever that has had like skin that thick where they can handle these high caliber rounds at that kind of like range. And also, why would you want to make that? Like, why would you want to make a dinosaur that you can't shoot? That's not, I don't think the little kids coming to your park are going to be like, wow, you can't shoot it. Wow, that's so cool. This is my new favorite dinosaur. Like,
well, and they made the Indominus Rex by combining the T-Rex and a raptor.
Yeah.
And maybe they mixed some other things, right?
Yeah.
But like, those were the primary species that they mixed together. Well, neither one of them are bulletproof. So how does this thing suddenly become bulletproof?
Yeah. Like,
you look at an alligator or a crocodile, a bullet goes through their skin. So like, why is this thing suddenly bulletproof? Now in the second movie, they did have one of the raptors get shot, right? So doesn't Blue get shot in the second Jurassic World movie?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, she gets shot with a pistol and almost dies, right? And so that's a cool twist, and so I'm glad that they sort of kept up with that a little bit. But it was something that I felt was missing from a lot of the other movies. Is you had all these guys, these mercenaries, these security forces, and they're shooting at this thing, and nothing ever happens, right?
Another thing is how unprepared they always seem to be. Like in this movie specifically, this is a group of mercenaries. And they're going on a trip to an island to collect DNA, but they know there's going to be all these dinosaurs. Yet, I think they brought one submachine gun and then a couple pistols. That's all you brought? Like that's it? Like what kind of armory is that?
They did lose a lot of their gear when the boat crashed.
Yeah, but we only even saw one. Like, even when they were showing us the gear, we only saw one gun. It was that submachine gun, and it was like the douchey mercenary. He had it. And the scientist was all like, well, why do you have this gun? And it's like, well, I don't know. Maybe because, and he even kind of said, like, well, I care about myself more than these dinosaurs. I'm protecting myself. And it's like, yeah, dude, yeah, everybody should have one of these guns right now. Like,
right.
But then he dies like right away. Like, they immediately kill him.
Yeah, and they lose the gun.
And then they lose the gun because he had it.
Right.
So it was like, see, this is why we bring more guns. Like, why did we only have one gun? Like,
yeah, it seemed weird that they didn't at least all have a sidearm.
And even the pistol. Now that I think about it, they didn't even bring the pistol. They found the pistol on a wreck in the island. Like,
yeah.
So we didn't even bring handguns. Like, we didn't even bring the bare necessities to like complete this. And there were so many times where it was like, you're getting DNA from a violent creature. Well, actually, no. The almost they got the DNA from. They weren't violent. Now I think about it. Most of them.
The
flying
right?
one,
the Mosasaurus.
And, yeah, the flying in water one.
Yeah, Quetzalcoatlus was the like pterodactyl looking.
Yeah,
thing.
pterodactyl thing. Yeah. So like, yeah, they actually did have some violent animals they were getting from. So I was like, why would you not bring like more weaponry?
Yeah, and these are mercenaries, right? I would expect all of them to have a sidearm strap to their leg or somewhere.
I don't think these are a bunch of animal rights activists over here. Like, it's like they are going to do whatever they can to keep themselves alive realistically. And that just doesn't make sense. And actually another complaint is with the family, like, dude, how do you like I get that, I haven't personally sailed a boat out into the middle of the ocean, but like, dude, there's dinosaurs in the world and you don't know where you are. Like, are we serious?
Yeah, well, they're all now centered around that area, right?
Yeah.
Around the equator. So if you're going to go sailing across the Atlantic, it's probably not the place you want to sail.
Yeah. And I know it's like, he wanted to spend some quality time with his daughters. That's great.
Go a little further north, a little further south, you'll be all right.
Sail somewhere else. I mean, like, me personally, right? Like, if I'm like, I want to spend some time with my daughters and I want to sail with them, I'm going to choose the more inconvenient path than, hey, let's just sail across the ocean with all the dangerous dinosaurs. Like, and then again, they act so surprised. There's dinosaurs out here. What? Well, yeah. Where did you think they were going to be? Like, and also they establish in the movie that it's been like a multiple years that dinosaurs have been out inside the world.
Yeah. I forget how many years from the second Jurassic World, which is when they got out. Right.
Yeah.
But it's been 5 years since Dominion.
And I think that was even like maybe
probably at least 10 years after the.
No, probably like 1 or 2 years. Dominion is probably 1 or 2 years after
the second one.
After the second one, yeah. So this would probably be like 7 years, something around there. 7 years since the dinosaurs got out. And you're telling me you don't like, predicts that, maybe he's like, I've sailed this path before. Okay, like it doesn't matter. Like that is like the last thing that matters right now. Like, you should know there are dinosaurs in the ocean, even if they weren't there the first time you were there, they might be there the second time, right? Like, they move around. They don't just sit in one spot. Like, I don't know. That was just so stupid. And that's what I mean too, by the way. Like, when I say it's a bad plot, I don't mean, oh my God, this movie, I was expecting a great, like, it's a Jurassic Park movie. I wasn't expecting anything special, but like, character decisions are so stupid in this movie that it's like, I can't even imagine that a real human being would do this. Like, why would you ever think that this is what you needed to do?
Yeah. Well, even the villain, right? The pharmaceutical executive guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's the scene with the daughter when they're being attacked by all the Spinosaurus. And the boat's getting knocked around, right? And she about falls off the side.
Yeah.
Or she does end up falling off, right? Mm-hmm. But she's hanging onto the side.
Yeah.
And she's about to fall off, and she asks that guy for help. And he's so worried that they're going to delay the trip to like drop this family off somewhere that he's willing to just let her die. Like, it just seemed weird. Like, even if he's not a good guy, for him to suddenly become evil and like let this girl die, it just seemed like a stretch.
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean. I think what he was worried about was because she was trying to call like the Coast Guard or something. She was trying to call and they weren't legally allowed to be there. So that would mean that they were all going to get like a lot of jail time for being out there. So that's why he didn't want it to happen. But so I kind of understand from his perspective. However, I did think that scene actually was kind of weird in the way where it was like she was hanging off the side. The very edge. Like she was hanging off the edge. She was barely holding on. He had fallen too. Keep that in mind. He's still on the ground. Like he'd fallen. He was just inside the thing. Me personally, if I'm in his situation, I don't think I'm reaching out there to get her, honestly. Because for him to do that, he would be putting himself on the line. And it's like, I don't know you. I don't know you at all.
Okay. Yes, had they portrayed it it brings to mind the lawyer in the first movie, right? He's like this, the guy that gets eaten while he's sitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
He was scared.
Mm-hmm.
And I would see, didn't he abandoned the kids in the car or something like that? He abandoned
the kids, yeah.
So him doing that to me wasn't evil.
Mm-hmm.
He's just scared and he's reacting poorly.
Yeah.
And that's almost what you're describing you could see happening. Right? Yeah. But that's not how they portrayed this guy.
Yeah. They didn't seem
scared. He seemed like he wanted her to fall.
Yeah.
Which I thought was it was weird. All of a sudden he just takes this all of a sudden this guy's evil out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Because before that we knew, this isn't a guy of even though it was clearly a guy who wanted to make money, for sure. Okay. Just because you're a greedy person doesn't make you an evil person. There's a difference. So that was really weird. I don't like that they portrayed it like that because I feel like anybody in that situation would not be doing that. And also, yeah, that was just really weird. Instead of being scared, this guy's just kind of staring at her. And it's what kind of reaction is this? That's your reaction to almost falling off a boat with a bunch of dinosaurs is you're just going to stare with a straight face? That is so weird. And then even her though, immediately assuming, because again, if it was me in that situation, obviously I'm going to be mad this guy didn't try to help me, but I'm also not going to immediately assume, oh, he's an evil human being who hates me so much. I'm going to assume, oh, well, this guy's not going to put himself, just like I'm not going to go reach out to save this random stranger. I don't know. I don't know. I thought that was just a poorly written scene, that it was let's just make this guy evil. Let's just make him evil. It's okay.
It just seemed a little bit lazy almost, right?
Yeah. Very lazy.
I will say, I thought the acting was pretty good, even though
really?
I thought there were plot holes, the writing, even though the writer is a great writer, but I just thought the writing wasn't great. The character development I thought was a little bit flawed, but I thought for the most part, the acting was fine. I didn't see myself, I thought it was more the fault of the writing than the acting.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So I felt like Scarlett Johansson did a good job with the character she was provided with the lines that she was provided.
She's super talented as an actress. I didn't enjoy her character at all. And I don't really blame her for that as much as I blame the writing. The writing wasn't good. The only character I enjoyed was Mahershala Ali. But I do think the only reason I enjoyed that character isn't even the writing was amazing for him, but it was because I think that he is just another caliber level of actor.
Yeah, he just overcame the writing.
Yeah. He's such a great actor that he can make a poorly written role enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
So
I agree. He was hands down my favorite character.
I don't think any of the other actors or actresses were bad. I don't think any of them were talented enough to do that. To overcome this terrible plot, terrible script. It's just poorly written characters in general. Yeah. It's just definitely not an enjoyable movie for me,
Yeah. Yeah. I hope they're done at this point. I love the Jurassic Park franchise. It's enjoyable for me. I remember as a kid watching Jurassic Park, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've always loved them. Nothing has compared to that first one, right?
No.
Which is difficult to do.
For sure.
For any franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel they've had, I think, 3 good ones and then a whole bunch of stinkers. And I feel like it's cool if you want to go take your kids that are old enough to see this kind of movie and go watch an action movie with them, right?
Yeah.
But it's a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
You know, it is cool when you see all these different movies in the franchise, how much better like the CGI has gotten.
Yeah.
And the things that they can do now versus in the original ones, right? If you look at if you watch the first 3 Jurassic Parks, you can see clearly like when it's the animatronics, which they actually did a really good job with, right? But you can tell, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's 80s, 90s.
90s.
Yeah, like it's a while ago now.
But then when they flip to CGI, it's another world. And that's not on them. That's not on the movie. That's just the nature of the technology and evolving over, 30 years. But I mean, so that part was good, right? Like the CGI was really well done. It was excellent.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's a plus for the movie.
Yeah. Which is funny because honestly, I usually enjoy practical effects way more than CGI. Like I love the look of a lot of the 80s and 90s horror movies. I think that the effects that they used in those were really great, and a lot of them hold up today. And I think that's much more enjoyable. Where I'll watch like a movie that had CGI in the early 2010s, and it's like, God, this is terrible. Like this looks tragic. Like I don't want to watch this. Like,
it's just hard with a movie like Jurassic Park. Like if you want these things to run around and fly around, then you have to use CGI.
Their CGI has been, I feel like they've done a pretty well done job at that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's been consistently good throughout the franchise. I think they seem to have always been using the most, up to date CGI and actually spending the money and the time to make it right. Because you can use CGI and it just not look right.
Yeah. But what's funny is on your point of if you want to take your kid to see like just entertain. Honestly, I wouldn't even take him to this one. Like right now, you got to think like the movies. I mean, like Superman's out. Take him to go see Superman. Like honestly, even the Fantastic Four. Like I'm not in the best of places with the MCU and Disney right now. But dude, I mean, I think that would probably still be a better movie to go see. Honestly, like I think that compared to the competition, Jurassic World just isn't like it's not the way to go. It really isn't.
Yeah, but if you're somebody that just loves going to the movies, right? Like us, and you want to go see, all the new movies or whatever, right? Or there's a little bit of that nostalgia effect, right? You got people who were kids when the first Jurassic Park movie came out who now have kids who are old enough to watch these new Jurassic Park movies. And so for them, there's this huge sense of like, this is something I enjoyed as a kid that I want to share with my kids now. So I can see that as well.
Yeah. Although I still do feel like, honestly, like if you're just going to see a movie, I wouldn't waste your time. I just don't think it's worth it. The experience is not worth it. It just driving out there, paying for the ticket, you're probably going to get some popcorn or something to drink. Like it's not worth it. And honestly, again, like I've seen Superman twice, like I would rather go see Superman again than watch Jurassic World. Like I would rather take away that one time I saw it and just replace that with Superman. Like I just, I don't know. It doesn't really compete well with some of the other movies out right now. Again, maybe if there was nothing else like entertaining out, then yeah, it's fine. But like, just, I don't know. Honestly, this year is just kind of a rough year for it to be out too, because there's already been like some great movies this year that it's like, my recent theater experiences have been pretty enjoyable. Like, I saw Sinners earlier this year. Like that was really great. Like, so my recent movie theater experiences have been like pretty top tier. And then this was not even close to that. This was a very like bare bones, basic like experience. So yeah, that definitely hurts it even more when you're putting it up against the other movies coming out right now. And it's like, well, look at these blockbuster hits. And then you have this.
Yeah.
I don't know. But do you have any final thoughts you want to talk about before we like give our review over the movie?
No. So where are you? How are you scoring this thing?
Honestly, like, I feel like I'd probably give it like a 3 to 4 out of 10, if I'm being completely honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
I just, because even for a bad movie, like when there's a bad movie, there's times you can get enjoyment out of the movie because it's like, well, even though it's bad, it's like I can laugh at how bad it is. This movie takes itself way too seriously to do that. You can't laugh at how bad it is because it takes itself too seriously and it thinks that it's actually this big, serious movie. So it's not enjoyable. The plot sucks. The characters other than Marshall Ali suck. There's not any tension or danger in the movie. I didn't really like the action at all because every action scene got cut off before we even see any like result to the action. So for me, it like there really was, other than this cool dinosaurs, other than seeing the dinosaurs, I didn't like anything from the movie. You know, it was shot well, I guess. Like that's like, it was shot well. The dinosaurs look cool, but I there was nothing else of value in the movie. And so for me, it's like I would rather never watch this movie ever again.
Wow.
You know?
So I'm probably a little easier grade on Jurassic Park than you. Yeah. I'd probably give it a 5 or a 6. Mm-hmm. And I would say some of that's more just nostalgia. I just love the franchise. I think it's a cool concept. Yeah. I think they've taken it too far now, for sure. Mm-hmm. But the CGI is fantastic. And so just those scenes alone, from if you go to it knowing, you should go into it with the expectation that it's not Jurassic Park, that it is an action movie that features dinosaurs and is based on Jurassic Park. I think your expectations end up being a little bit lower. And I think that's how you have to approach this movie if you are going to go see it, right? Don't set your expectations high, because the characters aren't great. The plot's not great, but you are going to see some action. You are going to see some cool looking dinosaurs, and they do a good job with it visually. So from that standpoint, I think you can still get some enjoyment out of it. But yeah, there were too many things in there that kind of really let me down. That, you know, I'm kind of in that 5 point range. Yeah.
Although it's funny you say that, because I feel like you should never have to lower your expectations to enjoy a movie. Like that's terrible.
That's fair.
But no, yeah, I do feel like I didn't have high expectations. Like I wasn't thinking, oh man, this is going to be an amazing movie. But like I was thinking like, okay, we're restarting it again. You know, like maybe this is going to be cool. And from the way it looked in the trailers, I was like, it looks like they're leaning more into horror again. And you got to think that's part of what makes the original Jurassic Park so great, is because of how they lean into horror. And I'm a huge horror movie lover. Like I would love to see that. Like I think that'd be awesome. And then they barely leaned into horror at all. And it was like they started to a couple of times, right? Yeah. Like even in the intro scene with the xenomorph dinosaur. Yeah.
It felt like that's where they were going, right? So like you get this introduction and this is how the movie starts, and you kind of feel like, oh, they're actually doing it, right? This might be pretty cool. And then, it was kind of just 180 degrees from that.
Yeah. It's just, it didn't, that's another thing. It wasn't very consistent on like the tone of the movie. There were times where it's like, is this like a family comedy? And then it's like an action, and then it's like, we're kind of leaning in the horror a little bit. And then it's like, this is all over the place. Like they didn't even know what they wanted to do with the movie. So I'm definitely disappointed. I'm disappointed too, because I'm pretty sure it was the same director as the original, right?
No,
it wasn't. I thought he came back to do it.
I don't think so. I mean, Steven Spielberg's been involved in
not Steven Spielberg, but the writer. It was the same writer.
Same writer. Yeah. No, except that the first two movies were a combination of him. So it's David Cope, I think. I'm not 100% how you pronounce the last name, but David Cope. Mm-hmm. And then the first two movies were him and Michael Crichton, who wrote the books that the first two movies were based on.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Was that maybe part of what made the first one so good too? Is you had Michael Crichton, who created this whole world.
That's true.
Right. He's helping write these things.
I bet that does definitely have to do, because he wrote a horror book. Like he wrote a horror book that was around dinosaurs. And I think that definitely matters when you're adapting from the book. Cause I feel like you see that a lot actually with a book adaptation. Like the first movie where it's an adaptation of the book's pretty well done. Then that sequel where it's like, this isn't an adaptation of the book. It's just like, we're kind of taking our own liberties with the property. It's always like, oh no, like you don't even have the same vision as the author originally did. And it just throws the whole thing off. And so where would you rank it with, like according to the other movies, where would you put it there?
Toward the bottom. So I think I would probably go, I'm interested to get your ranking here too, because we may rank them differently. I would say Jurassic Park, the original, is number 1.
Right.
And then, I kind of bouncing back and forth between 2 and 3. So I think Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World, those two, depending on my mood, kind of bounce back and forth between second and third.
Yeah.
I'd probably put Jurassic World as number 2. because I felt like it kind of went back to the original. What they did differently was it didn't seem to be a horror based thing. It was more kind of action adventure.
Yeah.
But I thought they nailed it from that standpoint, and it was very enjoyable. So I'd probably go Jurassic World number 2, Jurassic Park 3 number 3, and then probably Jurassic Park 2 number 4, and then Jurassic World 2 number 5, and then Dominion, and then no, I'd put this one ahead of Dominion. I'd probably put this number 6.
I was about to say, for me, Dominion's last place. I hated that movie. I don't remember like anything from the movie. Like that's really how you know a movie is like bad, is if it's like, actually, I don't know. I feel like that wouldn't mean bad, just really boring. Like, I feel like the only reason I even remember stuff from this movie is because I just saw it like a few weeks ago.
Right.
But Dominion, I mean, it was like, after seeing the movie, I genuinely forget that the movie existed until someone brings like up Jurassic Park and we're talking about it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, this movie, like, it's just so forgettable, and it's so far like fetched in so many of the things that they do. And like, it's so far from the original material. And yeah, the Dominion's by far the very bottom of my list. Like, not even a close question. It's like levels below anything else. But levels above anything else for number 1 would definitely be Jurassic Park. And then I do think that my number 2, I think I would say the same. It balances between Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World. Because I think Jurassic World was done well. But I think I don't know if I enjoy Jurassic Park 3 more, but I like it more. Like, I like the movie more. I don't know if I enjoy it more, but I just like it more. There's a lot of stuff in that movie that like I just like. Like, for like, again, like when I was little, I remember thinking that was so cool. Like different things, like with the Spinosaurus and the T-Rex fighting, and like the whole, like they had like that big gate thing. They all came to the gate and they're like, oh, you're on the other side of the gate. And then they hear the phone ringing and the Spinosaurus breaks out of the tree line, like that whole thing. And when the raptors were like trying to trick them to come down and get the guy, like it was so creative. And I think for being a sequel at that time too, for being a sequel in the 90s, 2000s, where a lot of movies really struggled with that, where it'd be like a hit first movie and then like the sequels just really suck. Like, being a sequel during that time was rough, and I think they did a great job of it. So I think Jurassic Park 3 would be my second. Then Jurassic World is my third. I think Jurassic Park 2 would also be my fourth, because I do think I really like that first part of the movie. I don't love, like, you know, we've talked about this before. I don't love how it ends up being in the city.
Yeah.
I think that was a weird
I loved it until then.
Yeah.
I loved the movie until they went off the island and T-Rex ended up, you know, in the city eating the family's dog. It was just...
Yeah. It's like why?
I don't want to watch that, right?
Also,
like, I just want to just stay on the island.
That also doesn't make any sense that it would choose like a dog, by the way. Like it would probably not choose the tiniest creature out there. But yeah, so that was... But yeah, anyway, yeah, the Jurassic Park 2 be my number 4. And then I think I would put this one, Jurassic World Rebirth, in my number 5. So over Dominion, and then Jurassic World 2, I'd put that in 6. Because I just really didn't like that movie. Like, that was another movie that I just really couldn't stand. And like, I never want to see it again. I never want to see that again. Like, it was just so annoying. Like, all that stuff with the clone girl, and then they released the dinosaurs at the end. And it's just so many dumb things in that movie. I can't watch that. So yeah, I feel like it's pretty similar to your rating, where I feel like it's near the bottom, like definitely near the bottom of the barrel. All the other movies are on like another level above, and then a level above that would be Jurassic Park 1.
Yeah.
But
yeah, pretty similar, I guess. All right. Any final thoughts before we close this thing out?
No, I mean, I feel like I've kind of said all I have to say. I just definitely did not enjoy this movie. I was pretty disappointed. I was expecting something else. You know, I was expecting it to be more, let's go back to the original, let's go back to horror. You know, I saw Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson. I was like, oh, okay, so we have some talented actors and actresses in this, right? Like, this should be good. And then definitely was not that. It was all over the place with what it was doing. So not enjoyable. Not great for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, for you listeners, tell us what you think about the movie and how you'd rank it in the franchise. And thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed the discussion, make sure you subscribe and be sure to check out our next episode.